Cool deal. All right, guys. Let me get this stuff off my screen here. What I'm going to do with you guys today, we are going to do our last session today on Microsoft Office Word to get you guys prepared for your test. And I'm going to tell you this, I promise you, the best way to double check yourself for these tests is to check out what's going on here with these final files. There's a final file for Word, a final one for Excel, and a final one for PowerPoint. And I've sat through enough of these tests with proctoring because, you know, I kind of look over shoulders a little bit so that I could see what tasks are on there. And I promise you, if you guys can do this final file here, you're going to do wonderful on the test. So you shouldn't have any fears for it at all. This is the file that came from Linda. So if you're already on the Linda site, you've been watching some of the videos. And what they do with this is at the very end of this set, it has for you the set of instructions. So I'm going to have to scroll up and down to look at the instructions. I apologize. I had intended to print it out when I was at school all day, but I ended up spending my time trying to get the testing software ready, and it totally slipped my mind. So I'll have to scroll back and forth because I don't want to do a split screen and go over some of this stuff with you. So let's take a look at some of these. Saving the file. I know you guys can save a file. Here we go. This second task here, right here, is going to be apply a page border to section 1 and make it a 3D light blue. Okay, so this is what I want you to pay close attention to, this part right here. Applying a page border to section 1. How do you know what section 1 is? How do you figure that out? Well, if you take a look, and you can see it on your screen, down here in the very bottom where my mouse is, it says I'm on page 5 of 9. And there are 7 words are selected out of 1696 words. And guess what? You know what this other little thing is here? This is my spell check, and it has a little X on it. So that means the file that I have open is suspected to have spelling errors. If that had a green check mark in it, then that would mean there are no, or just a check mark, that would mean that there are no spelling errors. So that's a good way for you. If you've got a big document, just look down here at this little book, and if it's got a little X in it, then you want to make sure to check your spelling and grammar. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll to the top of this document, and it's going to give me some more information. And, oh, okay, I must not have it on mine. So usually what it will say, and as you're testing, what it will say is down here in this task manager, and maybe I don't have it. Here we go. I'm going to right click and say tell me my section. Okay, so when you test, it will tell you. See, now it says I'm in section 1 of this document, so I right clicked and added it in. But on your testing computer, it'll already be there. If I come down here further, now I'm in section 2. Do you see that down there? All right, so the instructions told me to go to section 1 and place a border around section 1. All right, so I'm in section 1. Let me share with you another way to identify if you're in section 1 or not. If you remember, I've told you about on the home tab and the paragraph grouping, there's this little paragraph symbol right here. This paragraph symbol right here, oh, there it goes. This paragraph symbol right here will show you all of your formatting. So if I'm trying to find section 1 and I'm scrolling and I look, I'm going to find a little area that says section break. That's where it breaks into section 2. Okay, so that would allow me to know that this area up here is definitely section 1. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So there's 2 ways to identify your sections. You can use the show hide or look down here on your little taskbar. Okay, so check this out. It told me to put a page border, and I think you guys have done this. So we're going to go to Design. On the Design tab, we're going to the Page and Background grouping. We're going to select the Page Borders button, and then we're going to add whatever page border it tells you to do. You know, put your color in there according to whatever color, or your width, or whatever it is it tells you to do, okay? Now, this is the important part right here. It says apply to and whole document, all right? But our directions specifically said apply to section 1. So I'm going to say apply to this section. because I brought myself to section 1, and now I'm putting a page border around it. So I'm going to say apply to this section, and there we go. So I have a page border around section 1, and if I scroll, you'll see it is not on the other files, the other pages. All right, are you guys cool with that? Because you're going to probably see something just like that. Let me see if I can find a way so I can view your comments if you're typing in there. Or, you know, or you could, if you raise your hand, can I see that you raised your hand? Yeah, if you raise your hand, it'll give me a notification. So if you have a question or need something, raise your hand so I can hear it ding, and then I'll come back to it. All right, let's look at the next one. Oh, okay, someone raised their hand. Let's check. Let's see. What do we need? Let's see. Oh, okay. What you got, Kim? Type it in there for me. Or you may be able to turn on your audio, Kim. Oh, okay. She was just checking to raise her hand. Okay, cool deal. All right, so let's look at this now. Oh, you're in the lab. Okay. All right, let's see here. Go to this next one I want to share with you guys. So that's applying a page border to a section. Okay. Insert a banded cover page and insert a document title. Now, let me share this with you guys. When it tells you to, on the test, you see how this is in quotation marks? It means type it exact. All right? The easiest way for you not to make a mistake, because if you type it wrong, you get it wrong. So the easiest way for you not to make a mistake is for you to copy it. Select it in the question. You can do that. Select it in the question and copy it. So I just selected my text and I did a Control-C. If it's underlined in the directions, you got to underline it when you type it. So instead of worrying about all that, copy it and then paste it in. So I need to add in here a cover page for myself. So I'm going to go to Insert and Cover Page, and it tells me to choose the banded one. All right, and I'll select it. And it says, and put the document title in there. Okay, so now let me go to the beginning of my document where my cover page is. Oh, Word is not responding. That's not good. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. And then it says put the document title in there. So I'm going to select it, and I'm going to Control V and paste that document title in there, and then we'll paste it in. Okay, now in this instance, guess what? It's removing the formatting. So in that case, you might want to type it in. All right, but listen, let me share this with you. The main things I wanted to show you on this is to make sure, one, you know how to insert a cover page. Two, and then I would type in here whatever they told me, okay? But use that copy and paste when you can, because it does make it easier. Now listen, sometimes on your test, you'll still have blank areas like this, like company addresses not filled in. You don't address anything that doesn't tell you to address. So you don't try to make it look pretty. If you try to fix other items, it will count it wrong. So you don't want to come down here and say, oh, well, they didn't tell me to put a company address in, so I'll just delete that. So don't do that, okay, because it's going to mess with your score. All right? So we know how to insert a cover page, and you know that you can copy and paste. Of course, I picked the wrong instance to share that with you. All right. Let's see here. All right. Oh, lowered hand. Okay. All right. So we're still good. Let's look at the next thing that I want to make sure to share with you guys here. Apply the banded header. Okay. Do not display the header on page 1. All right. Let's go ahead and do that. You're going to have an instance on your test where you're going to have to do something in one section that's different from the other. Like, for example, for us, yeah, Brooke says there's typically 3 different paste options, although in the test, it won't allow you to paste in most environments. So you have to use the Control V, which won't let you take your formatting. So that's the only reason why I didn't address it, Brooke, but thank you. Very cool. All right, so check this out. It's going to, on your test, you're going to have a couple of questions where you're going to have to deal with multiple sections. So whether it's something like this, where it's like put a page border around this section only, or whether it's change from landscape to portrait in a section or something like that, you're going to have a couple of those questions. So I want you to feel kind of comfortable with it. This instance in particular is to insert a header. So I'm going to the Insert tab, and I'm going to choose Header, and I think it said select banded, right? So I've got the banded header in there. And then if I were to look at the rest of the directions in there, it says, oh, apply heading style. I think that one, yeah. Here we go. Here it says, do not display the header on page 1. And then we're going to insert a picture in there and make sure the text wrapping is tight. So that's the couple things I want to make sure to address with you guys. All right, so here we go. Here's my header. I thought I chose banded, but I'm not seeing it. Let me just double check myself. Close header and footer. Insert header, banded header. Okay, but I'll check this out. When you go into the header, you get your header and footer tools tab up here, right? You see that? Right here we go. Different first page. And that's what you would want to select, different first page. Okay? And so that is your first page. So then you would want to come down to the header that's on page 2, right? And then you can make your adjustments there of whatever it is that you're going to put in there, which we're going to put an image in there. So I'll insert a picture, and I saved the picture into a folder for us on my desktop. Okay, and then it's going to tell you to change the size of it. All right, so I think it was like, 1.5 or something like that. No, I think it was like a 0.5. All right, and then it's going to tell you to, guess what, align it. So you want to make sure that you use this align. All right, if it tells you to align it to the page, right, you want to align it to the page, or however, if it tells you to align it. If the option is not there, like in this particular instance, it's going to tell you to put it in the top left, but you see all of these are grayed out, but you have it selected, in which case that's not an option. So if that's the case and it tells you to put it in the top left, then you would just drag and drop it over to the left. Oh, I have my center button on, so let's come back up here. Home tab. Oh, I have to change it to tight first. Here we go. This little button here is going to be my layout options. I can find that also up on my formatting tab. Here is my wrap text, okay? And it tells me to make sure to wrap it tight. I could have also done it from here, and I could have chose the default in this instance, as I'm not quite sure what it was, but we're going to choose tight. And you'll see the little tight icon is going to come up, and now we can move it over to the left. All right? So, so you guys feel comfortable with that? And the biggest thing here is I want to make sure that you know how to insert a header and how to make the first page different in case you need to do that. Cool deal? All right, I'm going to close out of the header. I'm not going to complete the other tasks there because they're not quite as important, or they're simpler tasks. All right. Here we go. Applying styles. Apply the heading 2 style to the following subheadings. Okay, so they want heading 2. But let me ask you a question. What if this said apply the intense style? Imply the emphasis style. See, we very often, I know at Fayetteville Tech a lot, we use heading 1 style or heading 2 style or heading 3 style, but I don't want you to forget that there are other styles up there. And this question here in particular said to apply the heading 2 style. Okay, apply the heading 2 style to this text right here. All right, if I let's say that I couldn't find the word about. All right, it says during the test it might say apply the heading style to the word about. You're like, I don't even see that word anywhere. I can't find it anywhere. then what you could do is use your find button. You can use that during the text, and I could put, you know, about in there, and it will find that text for me. And then I can say, oh, okay, yeah, I found it. And then select it, right? And put my heading 2 style on there. Now, if I don't see a heading 2 style available here, what do I do? Right? So I'm going to come here, this little more button, and heading 2 style should be listed under there. Okay? Because what happens is all the styles that are listed here are the ones you use the most often. Okay? So these are the ones you use the most often. If heading 2 is not available there, then hit this little more button in your corner, release the rest of them, and pick your heading 2. But I want to mention to you, we're so used to hearing heading 1 style and heading 2 style. Be aware, it could say, place the emphasis style, place the intense style, okay? So any questions about adding a style? Adding a style to your text? Okay, I think you guys got that. Insert a footnote. I can pretty much tell you you will have to insert a footnote or an end note, and I would recommend that you copy and paste it if you're able to. In this case, it specifically tells you to copy and paste this particular text here. Art Summer Camp for Kids through August the 31st, okay? So instead of wasting my time, because it is a test, I'm going to search for the words Art Summer Camp for Kids, and I'll find my text on there, and it says that I need, you know, I'm not sure where it ended. I don't want to scroll back, but let's say that this was it, and it tells me to put this text in my footer. I'm going to go ahead and Control X that text, and then your footers or your end notes, your not your footers, but your end notes, your footnotes, they're all going to come from your references tab. So if I was told here that I needed to add in here an end note or a footnote, okay, then I would go ahead, insert my footnote, and Control V my text in there, and I'm good to go. All right? You can use your Control X and your Control V, and that is not an issue. All right. Insert a footer. So you guys know how to insert a footer. It may also ask you to insert an end note. If it asks you to insert an end note, you know, here's your insert your end note. It's all going to come under your references. All right. Inserting text. Replace the text events by inserting text from a file. Okay, let me find that. Let me find events. Did I find it? Where are we? Okay. Oh, it's not finding it. Okay. Let's scroll up here and find it. Here we go. All right, so here's the text here. All right, and it tells me to remove this and replace it with text from a file. If you guys don't see this, I'll be really surprised. So what you're going to do is you're going to insert text from a file, but you want to insert an object. So you're going to go to your Insert tab. You're going to your Text grouping. You're going to your Object button. This is your Object button right here. And you're going to choose Text from File. And you will go to the location they tell you. There will be files listed in there. You'll go to the location that they tell you, and you will find the text that they tell you. Now, in this situation here, though, it tells me to insert my text, but guess what? I'm only seeing Word files. And then you're like, oh, I must have done it wrong. But look down here at the bottom. It says that I'm only showing Word documents, okay? So if you take your time and work your way through these questions, you know, sometimes it's just a matter of looking on the screen. If I came up here and I'm like, well, I don't see a text file, what I would do is look at the screen closely and say, oh, okay, well, this is only showing me Word documents. Maybe I want all files. Okay. And so now here we go. Here's my file. I'll select it. And there it goes. Okay, it took it a second. So any questions about that? If it tells you to insert text, do not go in and open and copy and paste. Okay? Another thing that you're going to see on there, I just popped into my brain and I don't think it's on this file right here, is move. It will tell you to move something on your screen. And I think you guys are probably aware of this, but just to make sure, if you select text or you select a picture and you hold down on the mouse and drag, you can see that you get a different icon and it's letting you know that that's where it will drop, and then you pick up on your mouse. That's your move function. A lot of people, when they're trying to select a line or something like that, they get the selection wrong and they go back and try to reselect and they try to reselect, but instead, guess what? You know what? They end up moving their text. They're like, what happened? You know, so at any time you have text that's selected, an image that's selected, anything on your screen that's selected, and you click and hold, and drag, it will move that, and that's called your move. And you will probably see a question that says, you know, move this picture, move this text. Okay? Alrighty. Any questions? Let me just check it out really quick. Let me see if anyone's typed anything in there. Nope, nothing recently. All right, well, as we're going along, go ahead and type it in there, raise your hand. Let me know if I'm confusing you or you got something else. All right, convert the events text table to auto-fit to the window. I mentioned this last week, and I saw it on the test again today. I had it on my test when I took it too, to auto-fit to window. And when I was doing some research and then I watched some of the Linda stuff again, it gives you another option in there to always auto-fit, which I did not do on my test, and I can't tell you if I got it wrong or not. But since they're recommending it, I'm going to make sure to readdress this with you. So they want us to find the events text table. So let me come up here to this table. Okay, I'm never looking at somewhere. Let me find it. Okay, I'm just going to use this table right here because they're all going to be the same. It doesn't matter. All right, when I right-click, okay, so what I had mentioned to you guys before, that if you needed to make modifications to your table, it was really easy, you know, up here under your table tools, you could use this auto-fit and auto-fit it to window. That's what I did on my test. And I thought I got it right. Maybe I did or maybe I didn't, because you don't know. It doesn't tell you the specific task you got right or wrong. But when I was re-looking through some of the Linda stuff, it told you to go one step further. So I'm going to recommend you guys do that. And I recommended it to Rhiannon today when she took her test, is that once you have this table selected, if it says to auto-fit to window, that maybe you could also come up here into your More button, and then under your options, there's a little selection that you can say automatically resize to fit contents. Is that the right one? Let's see here. I don't know if that's it. Column, cell text, no. Yeah, that's it. Cell option. Yeah, no, that's it. So, and if you watch the Linda video, it takes you through that. I didn't do it on mine, but you know, maybe that's something that you want to do on yours. Is to check out these under the options, go in there and say automatically resize to fit contents. But then again, it also depends on what your question says. But mine said to auto fit it to the window. So, okay, let's look at something else. Let me come back down here. All right. This is asking you to convert the text to a table. You'll probably have to do that. You'll probably have to make text into a table or table into text. either or. If you don't remember how to do that or you want me to re-show you, type it in and I'll go back and do that one for you really quick. It just takes a minute. Apply the lines style set to the document. All right, so if you haven't done a style set before, under your, and most people have not used this, but under your design tab, you've got both themes. All right, what if it tells you to change your theme? Or it might tell you to change your design. So you might see that. So make sure you're aware of where those are located. Let's see here. Create a numbered list. All right, I want to make sure to do this one. I actually saw this in Rhiannon's test today. I've never seen it used. I've never seen it on a test before. I've seen put a picture in a bullet, and I've seen, you know, I mean, I haven't seen because really we're not supposed to watch, right? But this one here, I saw it on Rhiannon's test today. So create a numbered list of 4 these different items, okay? Carrying and cleaning of paintbrushes. So let's make sure you guys know how to do this in case you guys have to take a look at this one. Let me find that. Here we go. All right, so if you're told to create the numbered list using different numbers, like, you know, for most of us, all right, so now we know how to put our little bullets on there, okay? And now we know how to say, like, define new bullet. And if it tells us to put a picture, we go to picture and find a picture, right? But what if it tells us to do it numbers, but with a specific number, okay? So what you want to do first is make it a number, all right? So I made it 1 through 5. But in this instance down here, it specifically tells us to use 101, 102, all right? So what you'll do then, after you make it have numbers, so first go ahead and make it have numbers, and then while it's still selected, you go to your down arrow on your numbers and say define new number format, and you tell it what number format you want. I forget what it was. I already lost it in my head. Maybe it's supposed to start at, you know, 108 or something like that. 101. Cheryl says 101. Okay. So I need to define a new number format. So I'm going to leave it as this, and then I'm going to type in here what my number is. All right. And then, oh, okay. It doesn't want to allow me to accept that. But that's the step to do. Once you get in here, once you come in here, you're going to then tell it, oh, set number and value. Sorry, set number value. Okay, so good deal, Danny. I'm glad. Okay, so I just told you guys the wrong thing. It's not. It's actually the set numbering value. All right, set numbering value. And then you'll put in here 101 and okay. And then it will move it 102, 103. So make sure you know how to do that. So it's the set numbering value. All right. Okie doke. Let's look at the next thing that's on this file here. All right. Insert a hyperlink. We did hyperlinks last week. If you're having trouble with a hyperlink, let me know. And we will check that out again. Insert a bookmark. I had this one on my test. Insert a bookmark titled membership. I'm going to copy that so I don't have to retype it. Insert a bookmark called membership in front of the membership info heading. Okay. Find membership. I like it at the very top though. And apply a hyperlink to the word jump on page 2. Okay, so here we go. Insert a bookmark titled membership in front of membership info. Let me find my membership info heading. Here we go. So here I'm going to insert, and sometimes you'll realize that the questions are leading themselves. Insert a bookmark. So insert a bookmark and give a bookmark a name, membership, and add it, and that's it. You're done. But guess what? How do you know, like, let's say that, like, what are bookmarks and how do you use them? Well, I mean, it's just like sticking a standard bookmark in a regular book if you want to hold your spot or give it a spot to come back to. If you're on the Home tab and you go under Find or Go To, you could do the Find or you could do the Go To. If you're doing the Go To, you could say, I want to go to bookmark, and it'll be like, you know, which bookmark do you want, this one or membership? And you could say membership. Okay, yeah, take me to that, and then close. So let's say that, you know, you had a 20-page document and you put multiple bookmarks in there, you know, for your students to identify things or for you to remember where something is. Then to get back to it, you can, under the Find, you can use the Go To. And this might be good to use in your test if it says, you know, go to, like here, it says section. Maybe I wanted to go to section 1 in this file, you know. All right, it just took me to section 1. So this go to is good because it is helpful for stuff like that. Okay, but no, I would like to go back to go to bookmark, membership. There we go. And then it tells me to hyperlink this to the word jump on page 2. And I am on page 2 because look right here. I'm on page 2. So the word jump should be on here somewhere. Okay. Jump. All right, and I don't want to spend 5 hours looking for the word jump. So I'm going to hyperlink it to the word join, okay? So it tells me to hyperlink this bookmark to the word join. That's what we're going to do. All right, so here I'm going to select my text, insert a hyperlink. This isn't your standard hyperlink, okay? But I'm going to say to a place in this document. All right. Oops, I did it backwards. Here we go. I'm going to hyperlink the word join to my bookmark. There we go. Hyperlink the word join. So I'm going to come up here, hyperlink to a place in this document where, okay, I want to hyperlink it to the membership bookmark. And okay, it's kind of silly, but if I click on the word join, it would bring me to the membership bookmark. All right, but if you're asked to hyperlink to somewhere else in the document, you can do that. Here's my hyperlink, a place in this document. All right. Okay. Let me look back down here. Have I gone through these? Let's see here. Replace that, convert that. Yeah, we've done all of those. That's the hyperlink, the bookmark. Word art. I mentioned this last week. Do not let this throw you. Word art is different from text effects. And word art, when you add it into your into a document, it is in a text box. It is in a graphic box. And text effects is not. Okay? So here, this question here says, convert the title Visual Arts for All Ages and Interest to a word art. Okay, that's fine. So let me go to page 2. Let me find that header. All right. You select it, and then you go on your Insert tab, which we're already there, and you choose Insert Word Art. You might have the question that says, to insert a word art text box. Don't let that confuse you. Don't come over here and try to insert a text box, because you see here, when I select my word art and I add it in there, this is now a text box. Okay. Now, if the other thing happens and it were to tell you to create a text effect, Well, this is a text effect, and I'll be doggone if it doesn't look pretty similar. You know, the options in here are very similar to the options that are insert and word art, but it's two different things. When you make it word art, it gets its own text box, okay? When you make it a text effect, it does not. All right, and then it might tell you to, you know, decrease your font size. You can use your little letter A, or you can use your numbering style, you know, change it to your font size. All right. All right, any questions about that? Let's take a look at autocorrect. I think I had sent you guys something out, a tip about autocorrect. Configure the autocorrect to replace this OVCAA with this text here. All right, this will just take a second. I'm going to copy and paste this so I don't have to retype it. I'll go to my file. I'd love to make this interactive so I could ask you guys where I'm going. But file and options. All right, once the options come up, we're going to go into proofing, autocorrect options, and so it's already placed this in here because I had it selected, and I'm going to say OVCAA will be replaced with Orange Valley Community Arts Association. Make sure you add it in there. It moves to the bottom. You say OK and OK. And now, if I were to say OVCAA, it changes it. You see that? So that's what they asked me to do in this one. So check this out. I don't think we've done this yet, but since we're here and we were just in the File tab, let me bring you to this. What if you're in your File tab and it tells you to add the word complete to the status? When you look in your properties, when you go to File, you'll see that you've got a lot of properties here. And some of them, maybe it'll say, you know, add a tag, you know, of work into your properties. Add a comment of complete to your properties. So you might see something like that, you know, update the title in your properties, okay? All right, so I want to make sure to point that out, that your properties are right here. I'm going to tell you what, I love to look at these properties on my students' files because your properties tells you so much. So look at this. When I look at this, you could see who's the original author, which was Jennifer McCabe, because I took this file from her. It was the Linda file. Okay, it tells me the size, the pages, the words, the total editing time. All right, so she spent some time on this file, and guess what? You see a student that turns in a file, and you know it's got a 1 minute editing time. Well, I can tell you right now they copied and pasted in there. All right, because they didn't want you to, they didn't do the work, so copied and pasted it in. It'll also tell you when it was last modified, when it was created. Now, let's say that you get it as an electronic copy online and pull it. It will generally give it, like I downloaded this file on 5/31. Okay, so that was my download date, not necessarily the date. Oh wait, yeah, that's 2017 at 5:28 p.m. All right, so that was her original creation date. And then check this out. If you go under the properties and say advanced properties, I can even tell you. Check this out. Created, modified, accessed. All right, gives you all of that. Revision number, this is revision number 4 because I've pulled this up and played with it before. So this is my 4th revision of this. Okay, it will even tell you if it's been printed or not. Okay, so let's see here. And I don't have a printer connected to this computer here, but down at the bottom of one of these, it will say printed, yes or no, and it'll tell you no. And since I don't have a printer connected, it may not tell me that. I think it's at the bottom of the summary. It says printed. All right. But I did share with you guys that one tip where it asks you to remove personal information from a file, right? So some students have realized how to do that. This way they don't have to copy and paste, and the time and everything is left on there of like, 1585 minutes for total editing. So, and do you remember how to do that? Because you might see that on your test too. Under check for issues, you're going to inspect your document. And yes, I want to inspect for everything. And then like your test might say, remove document properties. Students do that all the time now that they've learned that. Remove all the document properties. Then when you look at the file, it has no start date, no finish date, no editing time, no nothing. All right, so you can remove all of that. And maybe it'll say remove all headers, footers, and watermarks. Okay, and remove all of that. And then close it, and you're good. Only take out the stuff they tell you to. Okay. I'm gonna pretty much guarantee you guys that you guys will have to insert a shape. I think that you're probably pretty cool with this one though. I'm just gonna insert a shape right here. Insert your shape. Today I saw where it was insert a ribbon banner. So maybe you're told to do a ribbon banner or a scroll, like a vertical scroll. All right, so you insert your shape and pull it out, and then it will almost always tell you a height and a width to make it, which is right up here on the right. That's going to be under your format. So if it says make it 1 inch tall, all right, you got it 1 inch tall, and text on there, you just simply click and type. Okay. Then it may also tell you to align it, right? And I talked about this last week with you guys. Here's your align button. Align it to the top, align it to the middle, align it to the bottom. Don't forget about this button here. If you're just going on center and left align and right align from your home tab, you're missing out. Okay. On page 2, make the line spacing of the first 3 paragraphs 10 and change the spacing before and after. All right, I'm just going to select some text up here. Your spacing is always going to be on your home tab. This is your spacing button right here. This spacing button, if you hit the down arrow, it will let you adjust single, double, 1.5. But let's say here you've got some line spacing options. All right. Did I mention this to you guys last week? I think I did. Is that if you do, I did. If you do a file new blank document, you always have extra space. It's placed in there automatically, right? So you'll see in here, this is going to say spacing before, spacing after. All right. So make sure that you know about this. If you prefer, you can always look. Just know this: right-clicking is your friend. All right. If you don't know what to do, right-click and read the words and see if it clues you in on something. If not, then look in your grouping area that you think might address it and use your More button. Okay. So here's my spacing, and then sometimes it will give you, like in this instance, it says for the spacing, make it at least. Make my spacing at least 10. Now, if it says make your spacing at least 10, I'm going to tell you there's going to have to be an option that says at least. So if it's going to give you that clue, sort of that hint, make sure you find that option. Okay? And then make your spacing before 0 and after 0. All right. Let's see what else I can share with you guys. I'm going to have to close out of here in just a minute. Apply a blue background. Okay. On your design tab on the far right, you've got your page color. That's your background color. All right. And you select it, and it'll turn everything in color. Let's see here. Inserting a fancy table of contents. All right, you guys, I created a lab for you guys on this one. At the top of page 12, under the table of contents placeholder, insert the fancy table of contents. Okay, so let me go to page 12. Let's see here. So your table of contents is under your references tab. Table of contents, these are your basic ones right here, but it specifically said fancy. So if you don't see it listed there, all right, so we're going to come here to custom table of contents. All right, and fancy is probably one that's listed under here as an option. Let's see here. Top leader. That's from template. Heading 1, 2. I just figured I'd do this one. So I didn't do this one yesterday. Let's see here. Who did this one? Did anyone do this? Tell me where to go. For my fancy, it isn't under the options, and it should be. I feel like it should be right here, and it may not be because I just don't have it as an option. I know, I don't remember either, but it should be right here. I've never seen this question before, but doesn't mean we won't see it. Formats. Ah, formal, fancy. Hey, I just had to look. All right, so there we go. My table of contents is going to be fancy, and now we're good. Okay, I didn't make my heading styles earlier, so I don't have headings put in there in order to create it. So, all right. Can I go over number 24, Smart Art? Let me take a look and see what that one says. See if I'm smart enough to do that one. Let's see here. Convert the list under Caring and Cleaning to the basic style process. Delete your empty shapes. Yep, absolutely. All right, let's do that. So let me find this. Care and Cleaning of Paintbrushes. Convert the list to the basic cycle process. Okay. Let me find that list. I think that's the list we changed into different bullets. This one right here. Let me remove this so it's not in the way. So you select your list. If you already have a list, you can select it. And then insert. And then you're going to go to your Smart Art. I think it said to put a cycle in there. Is that what it said, to put a cycle in there? I forget which one it is, but anyway, you know, right? You'll select the cycle. All right, let's say that it's continuous cycle. And then say OK. All right. You know what? It should have placed the words in there. Let me hit undo. All right. Let's try right-clicking then. Right-click. Yeah, I have it copied. Maybe I need to hit paste then. Yeah, because it should. Let's see here. Let's go back. Paste. There, I did take it. Okay. So paste. And then what you can do is select each of these shapes and hit delete. All right. Or if you want to, on your Smart Art Tools, on your Design tab, you have the option, you should have an option to delete, or what you can do is under your text area, which I'm not seeing my text area. Here we go. You can hit backspace and delete the empty ones out of there, and that will take it out for you too, and then it leaves just the available ones. Now, if it tells you to change your colors, here's going to be your color area to change it. It might tell you to change it to a style, like that assignment that I had given you guys said to apply the polish style. So here's our polish style right here. All right, I forget, what else does this one say? Let's just take one more look at it. So I did do a copy and paste for those of you guys that were watching. It was a copy and paste. Let me close this out of here. Was that number 24, I think you said? Yeah, 24. Okay. change it to the colorful range, make the style sunset scene. Okay, so this is your style. I used polish, so sunset scene would be one of these here. And when you go to mouse over it, it'll tell you what it is. And usually they're in alphabetical order. So, you know, you'd select the one that they tell you to. And then switch the layout right to left. Okay? And then change the text wrapping top to bottom. So let's change the layout and then the text wrapping. All right, so here we go. I've got it selected, and here it is. My change it from right to left. Here's the button right here. Right to left. And then it also said to change the layout. Here's my wrapping text. Here's my layout. And it said to, I don't know what it said to change it to. Top and bottom. Top and bottom. It is not allowing me to select it for some reason. Let's see here. Here we go. Let's try it from here. There we go. I guess I just didn't have it selected right. Top and bottom. There we go. All right. Anything else that anyone just feels a burning desire to go over? Absolutely. I'm going to tell you what. Danny is going to test today, and she's going to do, or he, I'm assuming it's a girl. Awesome. I'm going to do awesome because, yes, she. Okay, good deal. So she's going to test today. I would love it if I will give you feedback of what she says so that you guys have an idea of how she felt about it. But I think you guys are going to do wonderful. If you can do this file here, if you've signed up for the Linda site, it's got the little videos on there. You guys will be a total success. So, and I don't have any doubt. And if you get in there and you get really uncomfortable, you're just really nervous, I'll get you going so that you will be comfortable and you'll be just fine. So, but I need to get you guys, you need to start testing soon. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm glad I only have one tester today because I have one computer. They had some issue at school with the labs. So we'll be perfect for today, but you know, starting next week, I want you guys to jump in and you're going to test next week. Good, Brooke. Good deal. So, but I want you guys to jump in and try to take your first test because you'll feel more comfortable after you take the first one. So anyone have any questions or anything that you want to ask before we head out of here? I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording. I'll get this recording